All right, guys, in today's video, I had a viewer reach out and wanted some help. So along with you guys in the comments and myself, and I'll bring Maya in later, we are going to see if we can help this gentleman out. He is having some issues about a Filipino family and possibly having to end his relationship. Stick around and we're going to talk all about it. All right, guys, so hanging out here at the Henry Resort before we head off to a new place for lunch. I do want to explain, I've gotten a few comments to say, Gio, why do you wear your sunglasses all the time? Did just want to explain that the reason why I wear the sunglasses so much is I had a LASIK eye surgery a while back, and I get really dry eyes, so I kind of over blink sometimes with my eyes. I get a little dry eyes, and so this kind of helps with that. So that's the reason why, if you wonder why, Gio, why are you always wearing your sunglasses? Well, that's why. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and read the comment and discuss it a little bit. We'll give you a little background, and then we'll bring Maya in. And I really want to hear from you guys in the comments. See if this relates to any of you. I think it probably has. It has with me before, not really anymore, but previously. All right, so I will flash the comment up on the screen as well. But so he says, I have been engaged to a Filipina since 2018 and have a 4-year-old son together. I'm hoping that you will share how you dealt with in-laws and the language barrier. She wants to live in her family's village, and I want to live close to the beach, which is a good 5-hour drive between their place and where we are currently staying. Whenever we visit her family, the language barrier is miserable. The younger family members know English, but they're afraid to speak it, and most of the older ones might be able to read it, but can't speak it. And my southern accent doesn't help. She likes to visit for 7 to 10 days at a time, and this is monthly, he told me, when we go, but I've reached the point that I stay 1 day and head back to the beach house by myself. I just can't stand sitting at her house and all of her family and relatives chatting, and I can't understand a word. I've been trying to learn Tagalog, but it's very slow going. I definitely have no desire to live there in her village and deal with this on a daily basis. This is majorly affecting our relationship, and just wanted your 2 cents on how you dealt with it. Thanks, and I really enjoy watching your videos. He does want to also make a side remark that I was unable to be in the Philippines for my son's first 2 years because of COVID, which really sucked, and now it feels like that he stole their grandson. All right, so let me kind of give a little background on it as well. He is currently age 55 and she is age 42, meaning that they probably met each other when, you know, she was 37 or so, and he would have been, I guess, 51 or so. They met, I guess she got pregnant, and he had to go back to the U.S., and pandemic happened, and of course she probably gave birth and everything. I don't know. But he was gone for the first 2 years of the son's life, and so I'm sure during that whole 2 years, her and her son stayed with the family in the village, and they probably created a very strong bond. Now, pandemic ends, he comes back into the picture. He doesn't want to live in this little village, and understandably, a lot of us guys don't want to live in some small little province village without a lot of amenities and things that we're accustomed to, good housing and all of that. He wanted to go live his dream retirement life with a beach house. Understandable. And he didn't want to be right next door to family. Also understandable. So I can see how it happened that he is almost like the guy who's like all of a sudden takes the grandson away, and now they're going to live in 5 hours away, and they feel like, oh, you know, we had this great bond with our grandson, and you know, you came back and took him away 5 hours away. So he told me that he really feels like this might cause the relationship to end at some point. He really feels that. And if they don't find a solution, then it very well could be. Now, I personally, I would not want to spend 7 to 10 days every month at in-laws' house where no English is speaking. I'm basically just sitting there by myself on my phone. I can totally get that. It would be no different if, for example, I've got Italian family. If I took a family, if I took Maya, for example, to go visit my family in Italy, in the entire 7 to 10 days, nothing but Italian, no English spoken, I would imagine it would be frustrating as well. And so I certainly get it. And Maya, luckily, we don't really have that situation, which is part of the thing I was looking for in how she ended up also being my wife. That was something I looked for. Maya spoke English well. Her family I've met, and they speak English pretty decently, and so I'm able to communicate and have conversations, so I don't feel like an odd man out when I go there. But I also don't go for 7 to 10 days. I'm there for half the day, and then we go home to our own home. So for me, 7 to 10 days is entirely too much each month. For me, family does come first, but your own immediate family comes first, in my opinion. That means husband, wife, or fiance, and your son. That's your core family unit, and I believe that comes first, with maybe a visit for a couple of days each month. And yes, he's trying to learn Tagalog, so I applaud him for that. Language gets harder as you get older. It really does. The family maybe needs to make a little bit more of an effort as well, so they can have a closer family bond, because you don't want the son without the father, and you don't want the son without his grandparents and aunts and uncles either. So they really need to come to some kind of agreement. I do think the fiance should follow the father and the father of the her fiance, and her son's father. And if he wants to live 5 hours away at the beach, then that's the way it is, especially if he's taking care of the bills and stuff, So somebody's got to make a compromise here, and if there's no compromise made, then it's just not going to work out, which is going to be really unfortunate with the 4-year-old son involved. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and bring Maya in on this discussion. All right, so we got my beautiful wife here with us, who happens to be Filipina, and I thought that she could jump in on the topic here. I think you...
Jump in.
I think you already heard, or you read earlier, the question. He had been gone 2 years because of the pandemic. He came back, and probably during the first 2 years, the mother and fiance and with the son were living in the little village with the family, with the grandparents, and I'm sure they created like this close bond. And then he comes back after the pandemic, and he's kind of a little bit of an odd man out because he wants to live 5 hours away.
Okay.
And she wants to move there permanently. He doesn't want to. He just wants to live 5 hours away, which I think is pretty still reasonable. But she wants to spend 10 days at a time, and none of them are really making the effort to help with English. He said he is learning Tagalog. He said he can't stand more than 1 day without leaving because he just feels isolated or kind of left out of the entire conversation, and I can understand that.
Yeah.
So what solution do you see? Do you see any kind of a solution to this?
Well, I think they need to sit down and
Yeah, for sure.
lay everything, what they want, what the wife wants, what he wants, because I think it's just miscommunication, because maybe she don't want to live in the village. Does she?
He said specifically she wants to live in the village, and the grandparents kind of like hold him like, they look at him now like, oh, you stole our grandson, you know, because he was gone for 2 years and he came back and now he's living 5 hours away.
Well,
so.
someone has to give way.
And
That's the only solution. Somebody has to like
it does.
Sacrifice.
Now,
So the question is, who will?
right.
Who will sacrifice?
He made it pretty clear on his message. We chatted a little bit that he does not want to. He feels very isolated when he lives there. There's really, you know, no one else to speak to, and he's not willing to live there. So something's gonna. A traditional Filipina, he's taking care of all the bills.
Yeah.
And it's his son as well. 5 hours away. Do you think she should be the one to compromise?
Well, they could talk about it and just like find a solution. Maybe they could like still leave 5 hours away,
right,
to the family and visit the family. Minimize like maybe just 3 days a month, something like that. Because if they don't talk about this, if they just like be stubborn and do whatever they want, then they are doomed. They will end up separated. So somebody has to come up with a solution that everyone should get whatever they want, still leave 5 hours away and stay in the family for like 3 days. 10 days is quite a lot.
Each month, I think that's too much. And I can completely understand that he feels left out.
So for things to work, somebody has to compromise. Both of them needs to compromise. Because if they don't, then that's going to be a problem.
I'm going to side with the Western guy in this one. I'm going to say that she needs to compromise a bit more. Like you said, I think the days should be minimized a bit more, and they should concentrate more on their little immediate family, each other and their son. And I'm not saying that she can't have a close relationship with the family still. I think that's very important. But I think that core family unit is the most important for me.
Yeah, because if you really like cut her to her family, then that's going to be a big problem.
That's a big problem. So you can't do that.
Yes. So I think they should find a solution that both can be happy and get what they want for the sake of their 4-year-old.
Hopefully.
Because the 4-year-old, I'm pretty sure he is also close to the family, to the Filipinas family. And I think it's very important to have a family, close family for the kids, like cousins and grandmas. I think it's very nurturing for the kid to experience having grandma and cousins.
At the same time, dad is very important too. So, so you guys are going to have to work something out. If not, if she doesn't want to budge and he doesn't want to budge,
then just maybe lower your prides.
We'll see what happens. Hopefully he'll keep me up to date. And let us know what you think in the comments. Who needs to give way? I personally, I think she needs to give way a little bit. I think 10 days is a little excessive each month.
3 days is enough.
I think 3 days is enough.
Family.
Yeah,
that would feel you like you belong somewhere.
I just I just can't imagine each month, for example, me taking off for 10 days to go hang with my family every single month. Wow, when you know what I mean, and I just it's too much for me. So anyway, let us know down in the comments, guys. Thank you so much, and we're gonna head out and grab some lunch.